Nancy Brinker and her older sister Susie were the best of friends. So when at just 33 years old, Susie was diagnosed with breast cancer, it didn't seem fair to Nancy. 3 years later, Susie lost her battle with breast cancer. But Nancy, now a breast cancer survivor herself, vowed to continue the fight. She is on a quest to help all women with breast cancer, all in the name of her sister, Susan G. Komen. And she's concerned about some new screening guidelines that some believe could leave women at risk. She joins us now. Ambassador, thank you very much for coming in today.
Thank you, Shannon.
We got these new guidelines at the end of the week from the American Cancer Society. They recommend delaying the start of mammography, spacing it out in older years, and also talking about fewer clinical breast exams in a doctor's office.
Oh, right. And going back for a second to the guidelines, you know, they talk about women of average risk. Who are those women? No one understands what that means. And if we, we're moving so close to personalized medicine and detection, and yet we're moving away from it in a statement like this. And then, talking about clinical breast exam, it takes a few, maybe 2 minutes in a doctor's office. I myself had an incident a few months ago, and my gynecologist, thank heavens, found it. But the point is, we've now acclimated a whole generation of women to understand it's okay to examine their own bodies. They should be sort of assertive about their own care. And now we're basically telling them this is a new guideline, adding much more confusion.
Well, and that's the thing, is that we have different groups giving out different guidelines.
Right.
Women are busy. They're caretakers and working and doing everything else. How are they to digest this information so they know what to do?
Exactly. Well, I would always suggest our website at Komen.org is a very credible website. But, you know, a lot of people don't have access to technology. A lot of people don't have access to care. So now this kind of guideline, wherever they may see it, further confuses them and continues to exclude them from a healthcare system, exactly the opposite of what it's intended for. It's truly a conundrum. And, you know, all this really leads, Shannon, to the other real problem underlying this, and that is we need much more research for cancer detection and early treatment and diagnosis. You know, we can see a few grains of sand in the soil on Mars, and it's very hard for me to believe that we can't fund and find infallible kinds of breast screening, even with women with dense breasts, and then blood tests to back it up. This just continues. Every 10 years we have this argument, and it's really about something else. And I think the something else is really doing more research.
Well, and you have spent a lot of time and raised millions of dollars to forward that research, and we do see some leaps and bounds. I mean, people will say, in another 5 years, there will be more. Where do you see us going from here?
Well, that's exactly where we are going. With personalized care, there are several, maybe over 30 genetic mutations. These kind of genetic tests ought to be affordable and used on practically every woman that we can find. But then there's another issue, the women with metastatic disease. We've helped so many of these women live years and years and years longer. But when you get to the end, the quality of life isn't very good. And we owe the public a lot, all of us who've been raising money and doing this, and the government, which has given a lot of money. But we need so much more to finish this, and we're very close. That's a frustration I have. We're suffering in the way we can fund our young scientists who've delivered all the new therapies and advances in the last 5 or 10 years. And now we're going to be left with, very few to do this. So it's a real conundrum. We make a commitment and we need to follow it through because it still is affecting 235,000 women in America this year. And over 40 or 45,000 of them will die. That's just not acceptable.
Yeah, well, you've been such a warrior on this, and there's much work to be done, but we thank you for what you've done.
Shannon.
And bottom line, women need to have this conversation with their doctors.
Right.
All right, thank you for being with us, Ambassador.